coming up on the payoff. When you get sober or you try to get sober, you'll come across people who have what you want. And that's something we say in the rooms of recovery. And another thing we say is it's promotion by attraction, right? There's certain things you're drawn to when the fog starts to lift, or maybe even before the fog lifts, something that makes you want to engage in sobriety. This person we talk with today, Erika, is one of those people. But it really is for anyone out there. There are so many life gems sprinkled throughout this conversation that anyone can use. I mean, this podcast is for people that are struggling with addiction or are in sobriety, or maybe people who are struggling with people who are drinking and using. But this conversation really covers it all. And even my man, Mike Hamilton, the producer, said she's full of hope. So without further ado, let's get it over to Erika. But first, Kevin Souza.
Stand by the ocean floor.
Hello there.
Erika, what's going on?
Just trying to make a nickel.
Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, right?
Exactly.
Mike is the guy you can hear chuckling, the creepy guy in the background. He's he's our producer. So
nice.
you were on a work meeting just now?
Yep, I just finished up.
What kind of business are you in?
I am in the technology business,
Okay.
and I manage a geography of accounts and salespeople, and I have about a third of the state of Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a big state, so you're in good shape.
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. I love it.
That's why you took care of my coffee the first time I met you. I mean, come on now. Yeah.
I'm a salesperson at heart.
One of the things that this whole thing is about, this whole podcast is about, I still feel weird saying the word podcast, but one of the reasons I want to talk to you, and a lot of times people like you, it's when people are like their sobriety is attractive and they mean business. I mean, the first time I met you, and I don't think that you can correct me if I'm wrong, you run around banging big books over people's heads, but you were sitting there reading AA literature, 12-step literature. And I was like, wow, this one means business.
Yeah. Yeah, the big book is extremely important to me, and it's become more important to me in the last year. Really, it's my manual for how to live. Before I came into the program, the only manual I had was to take a drink or 12 to change the way I felt. And So when I got sober, I had to have a substitute. And really, the big book is that for me. I just relate to everything in there. I feel like the stories, the examples, they're all about me. And so it's just extremely helpful for me. And if I don't read it every single day, it's like I forget it. It's bizarre. I can recite it, but it doesn't sink in.
So you read it every single day?
I do. I mean, not the whole thing.
So how much do you take in? Do you set aside? Is that part of a daily, thing that you do?
It is. Yeah. I get up every morning about an hour early, and I have a routine that is also extremely important to my recovery, and that is spending time quietly reading. And reading the big book is a part of it. I usually focus on the first part of the book, where I'll either read the doctor's opinion, or I'll read pages 84 through 86, or I'll read right now, Bill's story is really intriguing to me because I'm really fascinated with step one. And so since I started working with my new sponsor last December, she's really having me learn the history of the book and learn what the author wants us to learn from what he's writing about. And so I'm really fascinated with step one. I think it's something I kind of skimmed over at the beginning. And so I'm circling back to that. So my routine is I'll sit down with the big book and I'll just let it soak in. And then I usually just write in a journal some thoughts, or I'll just transcribe the reading exactly as it's written onto my journal so that I can remember it and apply it.
And that's amazing. So you'll do that. It's almost like a form of studying. to write it down, because for me, to write is to remember.
Totally for me, especially as I get older.
What is it different being a woman with the big book, because a lot of it is geared is from a male's perspective, and it was written, in the mid 30s or late 30s. As a woman, is there a part that you wrestle with there a little bit, or is that one of those things where it's similar to religion, where you got the gift of desperation, let's get off the debate squad and just get after it?
No, for sure. I don't let that really bother me. I could get into it if I wanted to, but really, when I read like the To the Wives chapter, I just felt so much sadness for what I had put